Join the Fire Ant Maneuver Discord server to stay updated on the news of our game's upcoming full release on Steam and learn about future Armchair Historian video games. The link is in the description below. The ominous resurgence of Germany under the National Socialist regime has been extensively covered in textbooks, documentaries, and history YouTubers' content, including my own. The seeds of Germany's downfall were arguably planted between 1941 and 1942, and in this video, we'll delve into the twists of fate and strategic blunders that ultimately clipped Hitler's metaphorical wings, while also uncovering some moments of triumph that momentarily blinded all to the impending catastrophe. Special thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Raid: Shadow Legends. Summon and choose from over 650 unique champions, customize and equip your team, master countless tactics, and challenge millions of players worldwide. This month marks Raid's 4th anniversary, and to celebrate, we're assembling 4 of our favorite champions for a dinner party. Kale, our Dark Elf and Attack Champion, Burst the Mangler, our HP Tank, Lady Kimmy, our Magic Wielder, and fan-favorite Death Knight. With thousands of unique champion combinations to put together, you can take on Raid's bosses, challenges, and other players. This month, Raid is offering dedicated offers, free gifts, promo codes, events, and a brand new fusion event where you can obtain an anniversary-themed legendary champion. When you use my link in the description or scan my QR code, you will receive the epic champion Kalen the Shrike and other useful items to level up and develop your team. All of this will be waiting for you when you sign up. The early stages of the war brought significant successes for Germany, with their conquests in Poland and France reshaping the world order. Italy's fascists watched with both envy and trepidation, as Mussolini feared being overshadowed by Hitler. This led to Italy's involvement in the Battle of France, leading to conflict with the British Empire. By December 1940, Italy faced spectacular failures, losing 3 ships at Taranto and chunks of Italian Libya to the British by February 1941. Adding to their woes, Italy's ill-fated invasion of Greece in the Balkans turned into a disastrous rout. The Greeks not only repelled the Italians, but chased them into Italian-occupied Albania. With the British forming an alliance with Greece, the Italians found themselves under attack from both sides. Their attempts at conquest had turned into a calamity, raising concerns for Hitler, who feared the consequences of Italy's blunders. Yugoslavia's reluctant entry into the Axis powers ended in an anti-fascist coup, further fueling Hitler's rage. Germany, along with the Italians and Hungarians, swiftly invaded Yugoslavia, quickly subjugating the rebellious Axis ally. Meanwhile, German forces also advanced into Greece, aiding the overwhelmed Italians and securing control of the entire country. The British dispatched an expeditionary force to support the Greek defense, but the combined strength of the Allies couldn't withstand the Nazi counterattack and the accompanying Italian forces. Forced to retreat, the Allies regrouped on Crete, aiming to make the island a stronghold in the Mediterranean. However, the German Fallschirmjäger cracked the defense on May 20, 1941, in a historic yet costly victory. General Kurtstudent, who commanded the Fallschirmjäger, dubbed Crete the graveyard of German paratroopers due to the heavy losses they suffered. The redemption of Italy by Germany was a topic of concern for some Germans, even as the dust of battle settled. Leni Riefenstahl, a Nazi propagandist and filmmaker close to Hitler, recalled how Hitler brooded over the possibility that if Italy hadn't attacked Greece and needed their help, the war might have taken a different course. Hitler believed they could have anticipated the Russian winter and conquered Leningrad and Moscow, avoiding the tragedy of Stalingrad. However, modern historians dispute Hitler's assessment of Operation Barbarossa's timing, with some arguing that the delayed timetable did not hinder their advance to Moscow between late June and mid-August. Operation Barbarossa began with promise, as the Axis powers quickly gained territory with the support of Germany, Italy, Romania, Hungary, and Finland. However, the First Battle of Smolensk proved to be a major setback for Army Group Center. High Command decided to divert forces to reinforce other areas, leaving the push to Moscow to grind to a halt. While the Axis celebrated their success in other regions, the Soviets prepared a counteroffensive. As Germany faced logistical challenges due to the lack of oil, they planned a 1942 offensive aiming south towards the Soviet oil fields. The Nazi summer offensive, including the Battle of Stalingrad, was a desperate attempt to retain the initiative. However, the Germans' underpreparedness and the Soviets' resilience led to disaster, with the 6th Army encircled and destroyed at Stalingrad. Army Group South was forced back into Ukraine, and the Germans' desperate attempt to capture the Soviet oil fields failed. During this period of the war, Germany also experienced success with the Kriegsmarine's second happy time. U-boats roamed the Atlantic, preying on American shipping with impunity. America's entry into the war did little to stop the U-boats, as the U.S. Navy was unprepared to deal with the threat. The Germans continued their attacks on enemy ships and targeted those they perceived as enemies within. Hitler's rise to power was fueled by anti-Semitism and pseudo-scientific racism. One of his key war objectives was to establish Lebensraum, new territories purged of Untermenschen, where his Aryan vision could thrive, prosper, and propagate. This vision extended to the territories outside Germany's borders and included the Jewish population as a primary target. Anti-Semitic laws had already been implemented, but the Holocaust marked a horrifying shift from mere displacement to a systematic, industrial-scale extermination effort. The Nazis confined Jews to ghettos, with the largest one in Warsaw holding almost 500,000 Jews, a third of the city's population, squeezed into less than 3% of its area. Yet, the Nazis deemed this imprisonment insufficient. At the Wannsee Conference in 1942, the decision for mass extermination was sealed. SS death squads unleashed terror during Barbarossa, murdering Jews and other Untermenschen. The cruelty extended to Soviet citizens, eager to please their new masters or engage in ruthless banditry. The construction of extermination camps began, complete with furnaces fueled by the bodies of their victims. The Nazis meticulously documented their atrocities, convinced they were laying the foundations for a new world order. However, these records later became damning evidence at the Nuremberg trials. Throughout 1941 and 1942, Nazi Germany experienced triumphs, frustrations, and bloodshed. Italy's involvement drew them into conflicts across Greece, the Balkans, and Africa. The Soviets fiercely resisted, preventing the Nazis from steamrolling through their territory. American convoys provided tempting targets, further spreading the foundations of Hitler's downfall. The offensives in Russia drained German resources and manpower, failing to achieve their objectives. The revelation of Nazi atrocities inspired some Jewish resistance, and their meticulous records ultimately played a role in their undoing. These years marked the final gasp of conquest and glory for Hitler's Germany, as its imminent downfall began to take shape.